know he is not good for the position, you can't put him in that position. So Abu Hanifa was very intelligent. When Abu Ja'far al-Mansur saw this, he couldn't argue with Abu Hanifa. He said, take him, put him in jail. Put him in jail. You have to become the judge. So they actually lashed him 110 times. Imagine the Imam of Iraq at the time, the most knowledgeable person, lashed him 110 times, put him in the prison. And he stayed in the prison. Now the historians have a debate. Did Abu Hanifa just die in the prison out of maybe bad treatment, poor conditions? Or some of the historians say that Abu Ja'far al-Mansur conspired to put poison in his drink. And he died out of poison. So that's a debate among the historians. So that was the year 150 after Hijrah. That was Abu Hanifa rahimahullah. Let's get some of what people say about Abu Hanifa, and I want to reveal that beautiful aspect about him. We said Al-Fudayl ibn Iyad said about Abu Hanifa, كان حسن الليل. His night was beautiful. What does that mean? That's an expression the early generations, the Salaf, used for someone who would pray for so long at night. كان حسن الليل. His night was very good. That meant that he would pray a lot, a beautiful prayer at night. Now this is an aspect of Abu Hanifa many people don't know. Abu Hanifa prayed the whole night. From Isha to Fajr. Most of his life, Abu Hanifa prayed Fajr with the same wudu that he prayed Isha with. Is that clear? The same wudu he had for Isha, he prayed Fajr with the same wudu. What does that mean? He never slept at night. He never slept at night, because if he slept, he would lose his wudu and make wudu. So that means he would be awake from Isha till Fajr, and during that time, he would pray most of the time. This is why they called him Al-Watad, the peg. Why? Because he was just like a very fixed kind of pole in the ground. If he prayed, he didn't move. He didn't move. He was so stable and fixed in his place because of the khushu'. That was Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah. Now another aspect, he would pray all night. Not only this, he would read the whole Qur'an every night in his qiyam. The whole Qur'an. And that's another aspect that many people don't know about Abu Hanifa. Abu Hanifa would recite the whole Qur'an every night. Every night he would finish reciting the Qur'an. So there were actually, in the history of Islam, there were 4 famous people who used to do this as a regular practice. Only 4 people who would do this as a regular practice. The first one among them was Uthman ibn Affan. Uthman ibn Affan radiyallahu anhu. The second one was Al-Imam al-Shafi'i. Al-Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah. The third one was Abu Hanifa. And the fourth one was another companion, Tamim al-Dari. Tamim al-Dari, the companion, the great companion, Tamim al-Dari. So these 4 people were known for doing this often. Reading the whole Qur'an in Qiyam al-Layl, in Salah, the whole Qur'an in one night. Obviously a lot of people would ask, how could you do this? How could you do this? SubhanAllah, that's a barakah in time. That's a barakah in time. First of all, like at night, during the winter season, nights are long. Nights are long. But even though if you try to recite the Qur'an, it would be a struggle to actually finish the Qur'an from cover to cover during any of the longest nights. But there is a concept of barakah. A concept of blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you really put your mind to something and you put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you try your best, actually there are so many things that happen, we might not have an explanation for them. We might not have an explanation for them. So that would be a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We know that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, oftentimes when Aisha radiallahu anha described his qiyam al-layl, she said the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, every time he recited, he would elongate his recitation. Was very elongated, was slow pace. She said, كَانَ يُطِيلُهَا وَكَانَ يَمُدُّهَا بِسْمِ اللَّهِ الرَّحْمَنِ الرَّحِيمِ. something like this. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, something like this. So the Prophet ﷺ usually, especially like the narration where Abdullah bin Mas'ud wanted to pray with him one night, the Prophet ﷺ prayed at night, so he started with Al-Baqarah, Surah Al-Baqarah. He recited it completely. So Abdullah bin Mas'ud said, I said to myself, he will recite the first 100 verses of Surah Al-Baqarah, then he would go down for ruku'. But he finished the first 100 and he kept reciting. So I said, okay, he's going to stop by 200. But after 200, he kept reciting. So he finished whole Surah Al-Baqarah. I said, okay, alhamdulillah. Now he's reaching the end of Surah Al-Baqarah, he will go down for ruku'. The Prophet ﷺ finished Al-Baqarah, he started with Surah Al-Nisa. He started reciting Surah Al-Nisa. Now Surah Al-Baqarah in the Medina Mus'haf now is 48 pages. 48 pages. Then he moved to An-Nisa. Started reciting Surah An-Nisa. Surah An-Nisa is, I think, 25 pages, if I'm not mistaken. Huh? Or 30 pages. Surah An-Nisa in Mus'haf al-Madinah is 30 pages. So the Prophet ﷺ started reciting Surah An-Nisa, he completed it. So Abdullah bin Mas'ud said, I said, okay, he's going to finish Surah An-Nisa and go for ruku'. But the Prophet ﷺ finished Surah An-Nisa, then he said, started with Surah Ali Imran. And he finished it completely. So putting these together, in Mus'haf al-Madinah today, these are 105 pages. With the manner of recitation where the Prophet ﷺ would recite, that would take at least 6-7 hours. That's one rak'ah. That's one rak'ah. So how much the Prophet ﷺ would pray? How did he fit all of this in? If the second rak'ah was something closer to that. And the Prophet ﷺ would usually pray from 5 to 9, maximum 11. So the Prophet ﷺ would pray. How could he do this? Allahu Alam. Uthman ibn Affan recited the Qur'an from Fatiha till An-Nas, the whole Qur'an that we have today, in the rak'ah of witr. One rak'ah. One rak'ah, witr. He recited the whole thing. So Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah, was that kind of person. So the description about this was, كان يقوم الليل. This is some of the descriptions from the scholars who met him. كان يقوم الليل كله. كان يقوم الليل كله. فكان يصلي الغداة بوضوء العشاء. So he used to pray Fajr with the same wudu he used for Isha. وكان يلقب بالوتد. وكان يختم القرآن في ليلة. كان يختم القرآن في ليلة. His student, Al-Qadi Abu Yusuf, one of the main, he's the main student of Imam Abu Hanifa. Abu Yusuf Al-Qadi said, بينما أنا أمشي مع أبي حنيفة إذ سمعت رجلا يقول لآخر هذا أبو حنيفة لا ينام الليل فسمعهم أبو حنيفة وقال والله لا يتحدث عني بما لم أفعل فكان يحيي الليل صلاة وتضرعا ودعاء. So Abu Yusuf al-Qadi says, I was walking with Abu Hanifa and I heard someone say to his friend, that's Abu Hanifa, he doesn't sleep at night, he just prays all night. So Abu Hanifa overheard this and he said, it's unacceptable that people say about me that which I do not do. So people think of me more than what I am. So he decided from that moment to pray all night. To pray all night. One of his wives described him. She said, since I know him, or since I knew Abu Hanifa, he never slept at night. He never slept at night. She said, in summer, he would sleep from dhuhr, after dhuhr, till asr. In summer. In winter, he used to sleep at the beginning of the night. At the just beginning, the first couple of hours in the night, because the night was long. That's the whole sleep that he would take. That's Abu Hanifa. This is how he lived his life. So what she said basically, مَا تَوَسَّدَ فِرَاشًا بِلَيْلٍ مُنْذُ عَرَفْتُهُ. I've just said that in English, but I'm just going to say it in Arabic. وَإِنَّمَا كَانَ نَوْمُهُ بَيْنَ الظُّهْرِ وَالْعَصْرِ فِي الصَّيْفِ وَأَوَّلَ اللَّيْلِ بِمَسْجِدِهِ فِي الْعِشَاءِ. So in summer he would sleep after dhuhr, between dhuhr and asr. And in winter, he would sleep in the same place where he would pray the night. He would sleep there just at the beginning of the night for a couple of hours. And that's it. Al-Qasim ibn Ma'an, one of the scholars of his time, he says about him. He says, قام أبو حنيفة ليلة يردد قوله تعالى بل الساعة موعدهم والساعة أدهى وأمر ويبكي ويتضرع إلى الفجر